Hello and welcome to this new video on the i2 iBase Designer software. My name is Jean-Jérôme and I'm part of the i2 support team. This is part 2 of the iBase Designer tutorial. In this video I will show you how we will create a security file and then how we will create our first database. I will first explain what is the role of the security file. The security file is the gatekeeper of the iBase database. It contains the list of all the users that can access the database with their permissions. Who can create records, who can modify records, what part of the database can they see. Security files have an IDS extension. So I've launched iBase Designer. I will just check to see the version I am in. So I went to Help, About, and I'm in version 10.00. Okay, so to create our first security file, I will go to File, then New Security File. So here I will create a security file, which I will call Security 1, for example, and just press Save. So it's telling me that I've successfully created a new security file. You have been logged on as a user SYSADMIN, which has password of SYSADMIN. So as we saw previously, the default user and password are SYSADMIN and SYSADMIN, but we will change this. So, okay. So what I will do now is I will create my own account so that I can then disable the SYSADMIN account. So I'm selecting New, then name will be JJC, for example, and I have two options to create an account. I can either create an iBase account or I can retrieve the user from the Windows Active Directory. I will not do this here because I don't have an Active Directory, so I will create an iBase user. So I will just type in the password and confirm password. Account is active. Okay, I leave this reset password as at next logon disabled, and I'm going to permission. And here what I will do is that I will ask to copy the permission from the SYSADMIN account. So I will go and copy by permissions. I select SYSADMIN. Okay, like this I have the exact same permission as SYSADMIN. Okay, and I can show user permissions. So this shows me what I can do and what I cannot do. Close. Okay, just go back and I can add some information like full name, location, and everything. Go back to account, check that everything is working fine. Okay, and okay. So it's telling me that my password was too easy. It must be at least 10 characters in length. And okay, good. So now I will disconnect from my account, from the current account, which is SYSADMIN, and I will connect as JJC, and I will disable the SYSADMIN account. So close, then file, log off. Okay, and I can connect. So to connect, I can either go to File, Log On, or I can click directly on this button here, Log On. It asks me for the security file, Security 1, which is good. Okay, and JJC and my password. It asks me if I want to create a new database or open a database. Up to now, I don't want to create a database, so I just click on Cancel. Because what I want to do is I want to disable the SYSADMIN account. So I go here on Security Manager. Here I have the two users, my user and the default SYSADMIN account. So I click SYSADMIN, I click on Edit, and I will disable the SYSADMIN account. I disable this account because it's a default account and it's best practice to disable this account. Of course, you must disable this account after you have created your own account. Okay. I click on close, and just to check that it's working, I click on file, log off, and I will try to connect back as sysadmin. Open sysadmin. Not have any user password, so let me just check again. Yes, good. One important point to consider is where the IDS file or the security file is stored. So if I go back to File, Logon, you see that I put the security1.ids on my documents i2 iBase. So this is fine because I'm the only one working on iBase, but this will be very rarely the case. Most of the time, you will have colleagues who will also want to work on your iBase database. So in this case, you must not put your security file on your local computer, but you must put it on a network server where everyone can access this file. So you would typically put it on network drive /iBase, for example, /security, and there you can put your security file. Now that we have created our security file, the next step is to create our first database. So what I need to do first is to connect, because I'm not connected. So I will go to File, Logon, the security file, the IDS file, OK. And I can create a new database. So select Create New Database, click OK. And I do have this dialog box, which will allow me to specify the name of the database and some other options. So name, I will call it test1, okay, and the database type, we have two options. One is MS Access, and one is SQL Server. So for now, I will create an MS Access database, and we will see after how we can create a SQL Server, or how we can transform an iBase in MS Access format into a SQL Server format. Then details, I can put tutorial, I can put a description, I can select the audit level. I will explain what our audit level later on, so I can leave it at 1 right now. Template, I will explain what it is very soon. And advanced, I will also explain what are those options later on. But for now, I just want to create a very simple database, which is called test1. So, okay, and I click on OK, and that's it. So what you can see is that the location of the database, which has an IDB extension, test1.idb, the location of this database is the same as the security file. If I go to this PC, I go to Documents, i2, iBase, so you see that there is the security1.ids, which is the security file, and there is the test1.idb, which is the database itself in access format. And there are other files like the security1.ldb and test1.idl and test1.ldb. I will explain what are those files later on. And you can also see that you have the type MS Access, you have the number of objects, the entity types, link types. Of course, it's currently 0 because we've just created the database, but this database is empty. It doesn't have any structure. And we have the audit level 1. Okay, so you've created the first empty database. Now what we will do is we will create a database which will use a template. So here I will first close this database, which is an empty database. Close the database. Yes. And I will create a new one. So I'm connected to the security file. So now I can create a new database. I can click here on new database. I will call it test2. Okay, it's still an access database. Details, 2. Okay, and here in template, you do have some example templates which comes with iBase. So for example, if I look for fraud, I can view what is this template. When I click on View, I do have the content of this template. I have the entity types and the link types. And if I click on the plus here, you see that you have the fields which belong to the account entity type. And for person, for example, you do have last name, first name, and everything. And for link types, if I click on one of the link type, I have the fields for this link type. Associate, I do have description, source type, and everything. Okay, so you can choose like this the template that you want to use. A template contains the structure of the database, but doesn't contain any data, just the structure itself. Close. I can show you also the intelligence template, view, account, address, document, person, and the link types will be slightly different from the fraud template. Okay, so I will choose, we can choose the intelligence template. I click on OK, and after a few seconds, this database has been created. It's still an Access database, it's still in the same folder as the ADS file. And now if I go on Entity, you see you do have the entity types and the link types. And if I click on one entity type, for example, person, I do have all the fields which are predefined. So the advantage of using a template is that you do have everything already made, the entity types and link types and the fields, and you can then modify those templates, or you can create a new template for you so that your colleagues or you can create new database which will always have the same structure. This ends our part 2 of the tutorial on iBase Designer. Next part 3, will be how to design a new database. Thank you.